George Kwaning. Top of the stories is out. And this afternoon, we take you to Avukope, a semi-island community in the Kwehu Afram Plains, where we bring you details on child labor. And residents of Nakori Chansa in the Upper West region want government to revive the Nyanchanta Chips compound to address emergency health needs. And residents of Setre Kumewu in the Ashanti region celebrate the discovery of a breathtaking undocumented waterfall seen as a possible game changer for local ecotourism growth. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. If you spend your time with me, you can also get interactive with us. We are live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Let's begin with issues regarding child labor. And child exploitation continues to rob many children in Ghana's fishing communities of their right to education. In Avukope, a semi-island community in the Kwehu Afram Plains North District, some parents are forcing their children into hazardous fishing work instead of sending them to school. Here's reports by Stanley Nibleo.
It's a rainy day at Avukope. Children who left for school are back home early, heavily soaked by the downpour. Their classrooms are weak, and the only teacher in the school did not want to take chances, forcing him to close the school. The zeal to impact their community through education motivates some parents to enroll their wards. However, not all parents in Avukope believe in education. Others tend to exploit their children for labor. Amezukpe Bete, a father of 5, is one of such people. He has withdrawn 2 of his male children from school and now uses them for his fishing expeditions. The elder son was in class 3, while the younger one was in kindergarten 1 when they were withdrawn.
Three. One kg. You pack palong go abi o tromale ko le ta ak palong nyamia yi ndewa yi school.
Immediately after the rain subsided, he assembled his sons and prepared them for the day's fishing expedition. Amezukpe told the news team that he is aware that using his children for fishing on the River Afram is an offense, but insists they must help him to provide for the family. Before their departure, I observed the unusual. His elder son had developed a defect in the right eye, causing it to bulge out. Further interrogation revealed that when fishing is not in session, the boy works as a cowboy, shepherding cattle for grazing. During one of such routines, the boy was kicked in the eye by a cow when he attempted to play with it on the field. Amezukpe corroborated the incident. The current predicament faced by the boy further exposes him to infections, especially when he had to dive into the river to untangle fishing nets. In Avukope, young boys are not the only ones exploited in the inland fishing subsector. Some girls are also forced by their parents to engage in fishing activities. Amezukpe's neighbor is also seen on the river with her daughter, both engaging in fishing. According to residents, the girl helps her father to pull set nets into the canoe to harvest the catch made. However, the Afram Plains North District Education Authority says the situation is being managed.
You cannot also deny the children from helping their parents with regards to fishing. So what we have been doing is that in such communities or in such communities where schools are located, we do what we call adjusted timetable. So instead of starting classes at 8 o'clock, we adjust the time to 9 o'clock. Then we also extend the closing hours by 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. But solving a problem, you are creating another problem, because maintaining the children in the classroom for a long time, the children too will be hungry. So by the time you realize, instead of 1 hour for them to stay, then you see them going out. So that has been a challenge, but we are managing the situation.
According to him, social welfare intervenes in areas where child exploitation cases are prevalent.
Sometimes some of these situations have been coming to our table, but we have been collaborating with social welfare. And the social welfare, they have what they call it child protection. Actually, I'm not so much involved in that particular activities. So they have been helping in such direction where the child exploitation is very high. They move in there, try to give them some bits of sensitization, try to see how best they'll be able to do to calm the situation down.
While interventions by social welfare and education authorities continue, the story of Avokope reveals a deeper crisis, one rooted in poverty, ignorance, and limited access to quality education. Until stronger community sensitization, social support, and enforcement of child protection laws reach these isolated areas, the cycle of exploitation on the River Fram may continue to drown the dreams of many children who deserve a better future. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Avokope, Eastern Region.
Well, my colleague Stanley Nibleu is the one that brought you this very story, and he joins us live on Zoom. Stanley, what struck you most during your visit to Avokope about how child exploitation is affecting education there?
Okay, so George, if I should answer your question, I would first of all say that child exploitation on that particular space or that island didn't start today. It has lingered for a very long time, and it is continuing to happen because duty bearers in the district do not frequent such areas, and so you don't have law enforcement officers frequenting the community to see what is happening on the island. So when you go to Avokope, there are other island communities such as Madagascar. Madagascar too, there is another form of exploitation, and the District Education Directorate is very much aware about the happenings on those islands. But just because they don't frequent those areas, because one, it is very difficult to access that terrain. To go there, you have to either use canoe. On that particular community, there are two ways by which you can access the community. One, there is a path that you can use motor to go to cross streams and then to access that community. And the other alternative route has to do with the Afram Plain, a voyage on the Afram Plain, Afram River to that community. And so when I got to the community, like we just mentioned, a lot of children are not going to school. And the reason is simple. There are no teachers in that particular space or that community to tutor these children. And so you have in a class, you have KG1 to class 5 combined in one class in a multi-grade form. And this serves as a discouraging factor for pupils and parents who have enrolled their work, because it looks as if every day when these children go to school, they are being taught the same thing. Whatever class 5 is, those in class 5 are being taught. Those in nursery, class 1, class 2, or the other classes are also learning the same thing. And if the teacher diverts attention to also teach the KG pupils, you have those in the upper primary, which is class 4, class 5, also learning the same thing. And the most shocking aspect of the issue is that the school classes end at class 5. Once you graduate class 5, it's either you move out of the community to another community, or you trek from Avokope to a community called Mimchemfre. Mimchemfre is a community, it's a bigger community where you have JHS and then primary as well. So once you are able to graduate class 5 from at Avokope, then you have to trek. If your parents don't have money to ferry you across the River Fram, then you have to trek about 3 hours. When we are going to the community, we use motorcycles, and so we spent more than 2 hours riding. So imagine somebody, a child who has no bicycle, trekking on foot from Avokope to Mimchemfre just to access education. So before they will get to Mimchemfre to attend class, they usually miss the first and second lessons. And so they partake in the third and then the other subsequent lessons for the day. And so that are some of the challenges that pupils on that particular island or semi-island are facing.
So Stanley, did the children you met express a desire to return to school, and how did they seem to feel about the current situation in the island community?
So the two children that I did a story about, their parents did not allow them to speak to me because he was talking to me. He didn't allow the children to talk to me. But, in that stage, children are coerced to listen to their parents. And it is the parents that takes care of them. So whatever they say, whatever instruction they give to the child, that is what they heed to, the children heed to.
Yeah.
So the children, if you tell them that, okay, I'm providing your educational needs for you, so today I want you to go back to school, they will gladly go back to school. But this is the situation, the father was able to tell me that, okay, in that particular jurisdiction, once you give birth to a child, you must train the child in such a way that the person can help you, especially the elderly ones amongst the children. They should be helping you to provide the daily bread for the family. And that is what is happening in that particular space.
Okay. Stanley, based on what you saw in the community, what immediate interventions do you think could help reduce child labor in Avukope?
When you talk about reduction of child labor on that particular island and other island communities in the Kowua Farm Plains North District, then I should say that duty bearers in the district must eat up. We should have the Ministry of Gender, Children Protection, and the allied institutions to also come on board. They should frequent the area. And the other challenge, like I indicated earlier, has to do with the fact that once you are able to graduate class 5, you have another challenge of trekking. So for these people to have interest in education or furthering their education, then it must be, it is prudent for government or those in the education space or NGOs to provide the community with a canoe so that they can ferry these children from the island to Mimchenfre, the nearby community, to access education, and then when they close, they will be taken back to the same community. I think by doing this, it would give them a kind of respite and relief that they will develop that interest to focus on education.
Okay.
And then also...
Yeah. I can hear you. You just want to wrap up, just wrap up briefly.
Yes. So, and then also, the parents, they are doing this because of poverty. And because of poverty, you cannot also say that you want to exploit your children. So the local economy of the island should also be really looked at so that parents who are bent on exploiting their children because they believe they live in abject poverty can put a stop to that.
Okay. Stanley, thank you so much for your time. Stanley Niblao is our reporter, and he visited Avukope where there's some sort of child exploitation in the island community. Away from that, a stunning natural discovery in the Ashanti region is generating major excitement. A previously undocumented waterfall has been found in the Setre Kumewo district and is already being hailed as a potential game changer for ecotourism. My colleague Ibrahim Awaka has visited the site and joins us for more update. And Ibrahim, where exactly is this waterfall located and how is the mood in the surrounding villages like? Ibrahim, if you can hear me, can you tell us the mood in that very area and where exactly is this very waterfall located? Well, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Weekend Central, and we're bringing a story, site in the Ashanti region. A stunning natural discovery in the Ashanti region is generating major excitement. A previously undocumented waterfall has been found in the Setre Kumewo district, and it's already been hailed as a potential game changer for ecotourism. And Ibrahim is joining us for more updates on this. Ibrahim, tell us exactly where this very site is located and what is the mood like in the area? Well, it seems you're getting some difficulty getting through to our Ashanti regional correspondent, Ibrahim Abubakar. And also, you can also share with us your thoughts on stories that I've aired so far, especially on child exploitation in Avukope. We are active on Facebook. Engage us. Hopefully, read them and share them to the rest of the world. And now, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jinopokwa-Jiman, says Ghana is clear about moving beyond the export of raw cocoa beans to building a cocoa economy that empowers farmers and creating jobs. She has therefore asked the European Union Sustainable Cocoa Initiative to be partners to ensure investment in the sector to help improve the livelihoods of cocoa farmers. The Vice President was speaking at the EU Sustainable Cocoa Initiative discussion in Brussels on the last day of the Global Gateway Forum. Take a listen.
We need structured, blended financing models that combine capital investment with affordable working capital, risk-sharing mechanisms, and technical support that reaches even small rural processors. EU Sustainable Cocoa Initiative and the Global Gateway Framework are well placed to capitalize and to crystallize this. The recent cocoa price hikes, largely driven by cocoa impacts and supply shortfalls, underline the need for this joint action. Ghana is therefore open to partnerships that combine positive outcomes with disease and pest control and establishment of commercial plantations. Trade barriers also pose another challenge. While tariffs on raw beans are often zero, duties rise significantly on cocoa powder and chocolate products, limiting our ability to export processed goods. Addressing these tariff escalations is critical for fair trade. Cocoa is part of Ghana's broader transformation. Our Big Push initiative is building infrastructure for agro-industrialization, while the Connect 24 pillar of our 24-hour economy ensures that there is seamless flow of goods, energy, and data. Our living income differential, introduced by us and La Côte d'Ivoire, signals our shared commitment to ensuring that farmers earn fair return for their labor.
Well, my colleague Evelyn Tingma is in Brussels with the Vice President and will bring us more, updates on this very engagement in our subsequent bulletins. And now, International Credit Ratings Agency Moody's Investors Service has upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency credit rating to CAA1 from CAA2, reflecting the country's improved debt outlook and ongoing macroeconomic recovery under the IMF-supported reform program. The upgrade, announced on Friday, October 10, marks a major milestone in Ghana's post-crisis recovery journey after years of fiscal strain, high inflation, and currency instability. The announcement coincided with the IMF staff-level agreement with Ghana following the fifth review Ms. Anchin under the $3 billion extended credit facility, ECF, are paving the way for an addition of $385 million disbursement once approved by the IMF Executive Board. Moody's said the decision was driven by stronger fiscal discipline, successful debt restructuring progress, and enhanced foreign reserve buffers, all of which have bolstered Ghana's ability to meet its external debt obligations. Joseph Yensu is a professor in finance and economics. Good afternoon, and what are the broader implications of Moody's upgrade from CAA2 to CAA1 for Ghana's access to international capital markets and investor confidence?
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners. Moody's upgrade of Ghana's credit rating from CAA2 to CAA1 demonstrates some kind of excitement in the economy because it actually informs that there's some kind of discipline in the economy. Some of the macro indicators that have been put in place are working very well because if you look at where Ghana, our stand was, which happens to be the CAA2, happens to fall in the categories of the risky countries. But now that there have been improvement, it demonstrates that the economic indicators are working very well in the economy, and that is where the president specified about restricting Ghana Now, when you look at some of the indicators of which the Moody's rating is based on, one, by looking at inflation. Now, it is the first that has experienced in this economy about 4 years ago, where we have now 9.4 inflation, which is a single digit, which is a good news for the country and also a way of boosting investor confidence in the country. So when you look at this category, then it tells you that the government instituting fiscal discipline is working well for our country, and also demonstrates that the country is on track to restore economic sanity right in the economy, especially when it comes to the issue of cost. The government is minimizing the cost in the expenditure, and the government is also improving and enhancing revenue generation. So these are all factors leading to the rating from the CAA2 to the CAA1, which is a good news. And I believe that the finance are very happy because some of the the things working are actually improving things in the economy.
Okay, Prof, let's look at sustainability. To what extent can this improved credit rating be sustained if external factors such as commodity prices or global interest rates become less favorable?
Yes, if you're looking at the favorable interest rate, now you're looking at a situation where there is a level of stability in the exchange rate. And if you're looking at a situation where our reserves are increasing because of the policies, for example, you're looking at a situation where Ghana cannot export more goods into the other countries, which is giving our reserves increasing from a certain level to another level. That ensures the level of confidence by our international partners, and that one will push them also to believe in the country, and they begin to think about investing in the country. So these are some of the measures where the government has put in place, which is actually helping building the confidence in the people of this country and the investors as a whole.
Okay. Prof, before you take leave of us, how significant is the IMF-supported reform program in driving the fiscal discipline and debt restructuring that led to this upgrade? And what risk could undermine these gains?
Hello?
What risk can undermine these gains, Prof? That's what I wanted to find out.
No. The point is that, you see, if you're looking at this upgrade, that's why I said that it's due to fiscal discipline by the government. So when there's fiscal discipline, then whatever kind of cost towards expenditure is being taken care of.
Okay.
So if you don't look at a situation where people will be spending too much than what they get. So at the end of it, if you spend too much than what you get, then it means the country is going into a level where you are going to still have a bad rating. But here it's a situation that at the end we don't spend what you get. Okay. So at the end, the finance minister or the government will try to make sure that things are done properly in this economy, and that is why the Ghana has got the restriction of the agenda in this country, so that at the end you don't have a situation where people can spend more than what they get. Because for you to reduce the level of inflation to 9.4, demonstrate discipline in the economy. If you're also looking at currency stability, demonstrate a level of discipline in the economy. And all these things have enhanced this rating. Now, if you're looking at government managing the expenditure very well and also control the expenditure in the economy, all these things enhance the confidence in the people of this country. And now you can believe that the direction of which the country is going is heading towards a better direction. And they're not surprising that because this is just within 9 months. And within the 9 months, if at the end the Moody's is rating the country from CAA2 to CAA1, then not be surprising that by the next 1 year or the next 6 months, possibly you move on to B. And when you hit the B category, it means that the country is at the highest level. So it's important that the government continue to maintain this level of discipline so that at the end, we can actually move from where we are. You are not satisfied where you are, but it demonstrates that there's still a room for improvement of which the government continue to look at that, especially trying to look at how domestic recovery must be enhanced by the government, also maintaining discipline in the expenditure to ensure industrial productivity. If all these things are done, then within the next year, we should be able to move from the CAA1 to the B categories, and then possibly to the A. And I believe that looking at the measures, the policies put in place, all the economic indicators by the finance minister, I tell you that Ghana will stand a better way of hitting the B categories and also moving on to the A categories.
Okay, as always, thank you so much for sharing expertise with us. And Professor Joseph Yensu is a professor in finance and economics. And that takes us to our very first break. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back from the break. In more news this afternoon, he survived mental health disorders and now is ready to offer his support to help others overcome the same challenges. That is a story of 60-year-old Nashiru Momori, who has battled and pulled through depression, anxiety, and drug-induced psychosis. As Ghana joined the rest of the world yesterday to mark Mental Health Day, the message is clear. There's help if you're struggling, grieving, or feeling anxious and helpless. He's been in and out of prison a couple of times, done all sorts of drugs from infancy to adulthood. The hospital had been his safe haven in dealing with depression and anxiety. At the age of 16, he was diagnosed with drug-induced psychosis, which worsened his mental health before moving to the UK with his parents.
I'm blessed because I have had a few diagnoses. I normally don't talk about them, but I'm okay to talk about it because I'm willing to use my experience to save the situations. The day I got discharged, my mom came to the living room and was whispering to my sister, said, "I'm sorry, Fiona. And that's what she believed. Not that she doesn't love me. But my mom thought, oh, I go to hospital, yeah, is deemed to be violent. Do you blame her? So we need education.
Now the story is entirely different. His predicament did not define him, neither did it stand in his way of achieving his goals. He is willing to offer his assistance to authorities in addressing the very predicament he once faced.
I'm looking for the right people to talk to them, to get the message out there, impact and make the difference. Look, it doesn't take just one person. We need to develop and get champions. We need to get reps. We need to embed. We need to ensure that we infiltrate this. There's so many youths in schools, in classrooms that have challenges.
Per health research, every person has a form of abnormality until it is triggered. Professionals like lawyers are not left out, having to deal with clients with myriad of problems seeking answers.
When people tell you their problems, it has an effect on your mind. You cannot pretend that it doesn't. And even lawyers, the kind of work that we do, we are in a very high, fast-paced working environment. So, for instance, we have to go to court, or we have to draft certain documents, we have to meet certain deadlines, we work late into the night. Stress is a mental health condition. And so, when you are engaged in all those things, you need to make sure that you are doing things that will help you de-stress.
Estimates suggest around 13% of Ghanaians experience a mental disorder, with about 10% suffering from moderate to mild forms and 1 to 3% from severe conditions. The Mental Health Authority is advancing a comprehensive agenda to integrate mental health into disaster preparedness and emergency response frameworks.
You'll be talking to yourself in the car, then you'll be insulting the car that crosses you or that drove past without going through the normal route. So it's very critical. It's serious that we don't understand mental health and we don't recognize mental health in our own life.
Stakeholders at this year's The Wholesome Mind Experience, in marking World Mental Health Day, called for real-time solutions from government, particularly on psychological safety in children and adults. This year's World Mental Health Day is on the theme, incorporating mental health needs and services during catastrophes and emergencies, an essential component.
Just know that if you're struggling, if you are grieving, fearful, anxious, or even feeling helpless, you are not alone. There's help. The Mental Health Authority toll-free helpline 0800-678-678 is available 24/7. Professional counselors and clinical psychologists are ready to listen, guide and support you confidentially. George Kwaning, TV3 News, Accra.
Just so you know, everyone has a form of abnormality until that is triggered. Let's know what you make of mental health, the efforts as a country we've made so far. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your opinions, observations, and hopefully read these comments and share them to the rest of the world. Now, the line between the classroom and the newsroom has drawn closer as Akoma FM, a subsidiary of Media General and Wisconsin University, have signed a memorandum of understanding. The one-year mutual agreement will see the two institutions share practical experience in the area of media communication. William Evans Inkum has filed this very report.
At the round table, management of Akoma FM, a subsidiary of Media General Radio, signed a one-year agreement which will see the two prestigious institutions share communication knowledge and media experience. On the part of Wisconsin University, the institution will provide a training session to enhance presentation and production competencies for staff of Akoma FM. On the side of Akoma FM, the station will also offer internship opportunities for qualified students of Wisconsin University. Vice President of Wisconsin University, Professor Kofi Latte, was optimistic the partnership will help build student capacity through practical experience.
We thank you for being so kind to us. So, with the goodwill that exists between us, I look at the collaboration agreement and I was happy with it. Okay. Because I saw that it is something that we can do together for mutual benefit. So it is very much welcome.
Head of station Ransford Nana Osiasari believed the MOU will meet the expectation of the two parties.
And from this collaboration, we see it as one of the things that we have so wished for. We are doing more of the practical things, but you see, sometimes a lot of things come up, and if you don't go back to look at the new trends, if you're not very careful, you may think you are doing the right thing, but you just be tickling yourself and laughing. And so for us, we have a system that usually we do training sessions for all our staff. We have categorized our presenters. So some of them, sometimes we have to even take them outside the country.
Management of Akoma FM also toured the facility.
So this story on the call to the bar, which was held on Friday, that's yesterday, and two senior producers here at Media General were among the over 800 new lawyers called to the bar at the 62nd ceremony held at the Accra International Conference Center on Friday, October 10.
10 years. That's how long Sixtus Dong Ulo had to wait to have his name etched in the book of the Ghana Bar.
If it's taking you long, maybe you should just look at my story and know that you can always get it done. It's up to you deciding that this is what must happen.
The father of three did not let his predicament deter him.
My late father had always shared this dream with me. Maybe the inspiration came from him to become a lawyer. And I had always prayed that he will see me. In fact, we had talked about he watching me in court. Unfortunately, he's passed. He's not even here to see this day, to talk about seeing me in court. But I believe that we share the joy with my mom, with the rest of my family, and the people who believed in me.
For Joseph Akable, the opportunity to join the long list of legal professionals in his family is one to relish.
I mean, it's been a childhood dream for a while now, so it's taken long, but it's finally here, and I look forward into the future with a lot of hope. I think it requires a lot of hard work, basically, and hours and hours of reading and everything. So that has been the challenge always, but God has been kind and merciful and ensured that everything went on smoothly.
The Media General duo hope to use their added expertise to improve their work as communicators and content generators to serve the country and the society at large.
Congratulations are in the right order to these senior producers, Sistus and Joseph Akable, and it adds up to the plethora of the knowledge that we have here at Media Journal. And now, Rural Hub is up next. A stunning natural discovery in the Ashanti region is generating major excitement. A previously undocumented waterfall has been found in the Setrekumewo district and is already being hailed as a potential game changer for ecotourism. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has visited the site and joins us for more update on this. Ibrahim, where exactly is this waterfall located and how is the mood in the surrounding village like?
Well, George, this waterfall is located within the pristine forest of Bankara. It's one of the communities in the Setrekumewo district. And you go to the community, the mood in town is one of optimism, because I can tell you that the new discovery is sending ripples of hope through all the communities around. It may not be new to some residents, but the mere fact that the waterfall is now stepping into the spotlight has brought some form of hope of job creation and also boom in business to the youth. At least they believe that when it is finally put on the radar of ecotourism, it will open up the community and the likes. And it is nestled deep within, like I said, the Bankara forest. And before you even reach to that natural beauty itself, it is part of an adventure, because you have to hike for close to 30 minutes to the pristine forest before you find this beautiful nature. And people are just hoping that within time, authorities will step in and invest and make sure that place also becomes one of the tourism attraction centers in the Ashanti region. Let's listen to some of the communities on their thoughts about this new discovery.
Mpanyinfo bɛboa yɛn na ɔma yɛ sade na ma yɛn nko ade a ɛbɛboa ma first of all, ejuma aba kroim. Ena ebema ye youth no. Actually, omo ho afri nyama boni bebre ho to sell drugs and many more.
Say obi ba asisi e say opese okotori site wa. Wa hwe yi keke ye no na me di adwuma. Obetima ache dropping say me fa no nye de. Me fa no nko. Ebetima abo ma me so adwuma aye de. Akoso. And a banner ni GSO event do sometime be a it program be near quarter for so a ma who day if free chichi backronym near in be back my cogisa and GN. The tourist side there are there boy pa ye come here a man con.
Ibrahim, we've heard from the residents. Of course, it's going to bring some sort of employment. But what are local authorities doing to add this to the ecotourism radar?
Well, George, realizing the potential of this tourism site, the District Assembly for Setiokumo says plans are far advanced, or I would say plans are already in motion to develop this site, and they are seeking for some investors to come. Let's listen to what the DC for the area, Kwesi Amankwa, has been saying.
We've approached the Ghana Tourism Authority, the regional level. We've invited them over to come and also assist us and guide us through the setting up of these tourist destinations. We've also approached the 24-hour Economy Secretariat, and they're looking to sort of rope us into one of their flagship programs, which is the Show Ghana programs, to also give us the opportunity to showcase what we have. We've also approached private investors, and we're still looking for private investors to come on board. By God's grace, we have a very potential investor who is ready to develop one of the sites. So, I mean, we're making inroads. And once we develop these places, I mean, we'll get people flying from all over the world to come and see what Ashanti has to offer, and especially Kumawu has to offer.
If you go to Boti Falls in the eastern region, the source is a river called Pon. But I don't know what the source is for this very waterfall. Can you share with us if you know about that?
Well, it is also from a river, but I don't know the specific name. Okay. But when you look at it, you realize that the water that is coming is something that has never dried up. So the residents even believe that this is something from their ancestors. It's a gift from their ancestors, and for that matter, they'll protect it and develop it to add it onto the number of tourism attraction sites we have in the country. Okay.
Thank you so much. When next time are you going to that place? When are you going there again? Personal, this is a personal question.
Well, we'll be going there hopefully next week to see what has been made of it.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti regional correspondent there, bringing us update on a new waterfall that has been found in the Ashanti region. Away from that, the lack of sanitary facilities at the Buipe market is posing significant public health risk, including the possible spread of diseases for traders and customers at the market. This situation has led to the traders and their customers resorting to open defecation. The traders are raising public health concerns and urging the Central Gunja District Assembly to intervene. My colleague Christopher Mwako visited the Buipe market and interacted with traders and joins us on Zoom for more updates. Christopher, what's the sanitary situation at the market and how are the traders coping?
Yes, so George, it's not looking too good because if you go to the Buipe market, which happens to be the biggest market in the Savannah region, hundreds of people who visit the market. On every other market, they have to resort to defecating in the bush because there are no toilets, and even when someone wants to urinate, the person will have to hide in between cars to be able to do so. We also know that the Black Balsa passes through the Buipe enclave, and sometimes there are flooding in the area. And so these waters go into the community and back into the Black Balsa River, which serves as the major source of drinking water for the people. So the traders and customers who go to the market have raised serious concerns of possible spread of diseases as a result of the open defecation that is taking place at the marketplace. Let's take a listen to what some of the traders have been saying about the sanitary condition.
About, I mean, the toilet has a set. In fact, that one we need it very, very urgently because a lot of people travel far away here. But in fact, everybody will enter into the bush, and then you see some of them have got a lot of money. Even enter the bush, they fear because criminal can hide there, disturb them. So for the toilet, when we get the toilet, at least we get somebody to take care. Anybody coming from far away will go because strangers do come. More than 1,000 plus. You see, from Abjam, Togo, they do come here. Every blessed market, they do come. People from Accra, outside Ghana, they do come. Cape Coast, you see. So the market is like that. We need the toilet. The toilet is the most important that will help. Because going to the bush right now, as I'm saying, when you even get to the bush, you can't even get something because the whole place is dirty.
How high and say, the soul time, a journal, and we are pitcher. Toilet no sudia, a do also and also high. Baby, I am man who cry about quack juice or crapono, any juice or baby anywhere. Hi. But I mean, to me, what check out in China, my Johnson.
So before you go, you mentioned that it's a terrible situation. What is the Central Gonja District Assembly doing about this?
Yes, so George, I have interacted with the district chief executive for the area, and he's been telling me that the assembly is putting plans in place to ensure that they develop the market by providing sanitary facilities like toilets and urinary space. He's also been saying that with the support of the member of parliament for the area who doubles as the energy minister, they are going to also ensure that some redevelopment takes place at the market. Talk about construction of the road that links the market and other facilities that the market requires to be able to function effectively. Let's take a listen to what the district chief executive has been telling me.
One of the challenges, as you rightly mentioned, sanitation situation. And as the chief executive officer of the district, that was the very issue that I picked up as a matter of concern. I have to employ the market sweepers, 20 of them, then paying them from our own internally generated fund, just to keep the market very clean. Also, collaborated with my MP, Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo, to get these street lights, to illuminate the place, to beat down the security situation.
And I think, Christopher, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you so much for your time for that very update. Let's still stay in northern Ghana. Resident of Nakori Chansa in the Upper West region want the government to revive the Nachanta Chips compound to address emergency health needs. The facility was closed down 3 years ago after a security man at the post was killed by some assailants. Ibrahim Wangara has filed this following report.
For 3 years now, this facility has not been fully operational. It is estimated that about 8,000 people access the Nachanta Chips compound here at Nakori Chansa. Emergency health services are now hung in their balance. The current state only describes a once vibrant facility now in a state of distress. Sticky washrooms, reeking of foul stench, and it is pervasive. Parts of its roof ripped off. A facility is now at the mercy of the weather. Rejected, while residents in need of health services wallow in their fates.
As a resident, I share so much worry in it as a facility which I consider as the primary health service delivery point for myself and other community members alike. But I don't think for the time being I will be in a position to demand for health services from this facility in its current stature. But as a health facility, I expect that when I'm going there, the environment should be conducive enough to contain me and the one I am seeking the health service from, so that at the end of the day, optimum health is achieved.
Looking at the roof of the facility, you will realize that wind has blown and have taken the roof out. You see that the washroom is not, or is nothing to write home about. I contacted the MC and the Honorable MP for West Central, and they have assured me that they are taking steps assiduously to come to our aid.
The ghost of the past still haunt the future, making the revival of this facility a mirage. Dr. Josephat Nuzak, the Upper West Regional Health Director, explains why.
Nachanta Chiefs Zone serves 3 communities, and the briefing I've received is that about 2-3 years ago, there was an incident that led to the murder of the security man in charge of the health facility. And as you can imagine, that created a lot of fear among the health workers and, of course, community members at large. So the facility was deserted for some time.
Nonetheless, there are plans to bring it back.
The municipal director, per my discussions with him, has already done some assessment in terms of what is required to renovate the facility. Challenge is that the amount required is a little over 250,000, and this amount is beyond the capacity of the municipal health directorate. Spoken to the municipal chief executive and has also reached out to the honorable member of parliament for the constituency to support.
The municipal chief executive for Wa, Alhaji Noura Issa Danwana, is worried about the state of the Nachanta Chips compound and assured that it will soon be fixed. The health facility serves 3 communities, Nare, Chansa, and Tampiana. Its current state only raises major health concerns for the thousands of beneficiaries. Ibrahim Wangara, TV3 News, Nachanta, Wa.
Well, that's it for, Regional Hub, and it takes us to a second break. Stay with us. We're back with more news. Former MP for Asante Akem North, Andy Kwame Appiah-Kubi, has called for the involvement of chiefs and community leaders in the fight against illegal small-scale mining. That's Galamsey. According to the former MP, the fight against the Galamsey menace cannot be won without the involvement of the chiefs and the community members. Take a listen.
How can we solve it? And I was trying to demonstrate my own community approach. And I'm sure that you can't do it without the chiefs. You can't do it without the community. No policeman can go and stay in the bush 365 days in a year. No policeman. But the community itself, they know where the things are going on and they know how to stop them. So let's get a more open community-based approach. And in every community, the problem is different. There are some who are in rivers. There are some who are in forest. There are some who are in... And again, it is something that all of us must put our shoulders on and push it. Let's not politicize it. It is not A or B or C party that can do it. All of us must do it.
And the Apia Kubi made those claims earlier on Key Point today. And that's how we end today's edition of Weekend Central. And came to you live from the news app here at Adisa Wikanda. For more news updates, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Alternatively, you can join my colleagues Crosby and Aisha at 7 on News 360. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Good afternoon.